Hi, I'm Anna.
I'm Ben.
AutoSave, welcome to our channel.
Today we're watching Rezero, Season 3, Episode 15. Where do you think we're going this episode, Anna? Last episode, we left off with the beautiful ending of Teresia's second life? Not really, but there was consciousness there at the end.
Seemingly, yes. I think that wherever we're going, Reinhard might be possibly showing up at whatever that location is. And I'll be excited to see his helpful hand there. He was released in a really nice kind of family moment there by Wilhelm. But where he's going to be going, I'm not sure.
We have Julie, we have Otto, we have Al still, kind of.
Felt was going to get something that could come and be really useful right now. So yeah, I don't really know exactly where we're going, but I imagine that this episode or the next episode, Reinhard's going to be entering the scene again.
Yeah. You ready?
Mm-hmm.
Sweet.
Betty! Every time I see her, right at that part, I say her name. Okay, Gluttony.
Did you see what he did to the water dragons?
One little brat.
Oh. Oh. Oh,
what
Julie.
A way.
We idolized you.
What?
Oh!
If he's familiar with how he fights, then
He can see through everything. Oh! Switching it up. We saw that earlier too. 88 other pretty boys like you. Jesus. Are you able to, like, utilize what other people have done to you?
if you study it,
Yeah.
brother, he keeps calling him brother. Put our faith in. Wait, what happened? Where's his brother? Where is his brother? His brother! Oh my god! No! No!
Oh my
Why are you
god.
yelling to him?
Well, that's a transition.
But I'm so worried about Julius.
俺が100回死んでもてめえを殺せるか怪しいとこだ。てめえこそ考えが甘えんじゃねえのか。お見通しだったな。ってことはおもてなしの準備は万端。てめえの魂を粉々に。やったらいいじゃねえですか。それを足蹴にするとか、私の祝儀して。待て待て。本気で死ぬぜ。死ぬのっていてし怖えぞ。初めてだったらなおさらだ。
Excuse me?
体験は本当に大事な時まで取っとけって。私を思ってくれてるのね。そうじゃなく。
Oh!
The dragon.
私が好き。俺は誰も愛
I
さない。
can't love anyone.
てめえのこと考えて一生懸命準備したよ。愛じゃなくて敵で。
Just pure animosity.
Swim, Al, swim! Could really collapsing the whole building on her do it?
別に遠慮せんでもええんちゃう？自意識過剰だな。後で俺の顔がみんなの話題になったらと思うと気が気じゃねえ。まさか本当に崩すことになるなんて。アルさんが無事で一安心やったわ。そり3回は潰れてた感があるけどな。
I secretly got crushed about 3 times.
ご心配ありがとう。平気だよ。
Way to call it like it is.
記憶はたじきになったら間違いねえよ。なんて期待するだけ無駄だよね。アナスタシア様の魔法で顔が吹っ飛んでも。魔法？戦えないってお話だったのに。ちょっと何？たら笑えんのやけど。アルさん、どないしたん？こうしたもねえよ。アナスタシア方針ができねえはず。
Isn't capable of doing.
てめえは何をた。なんなのこれは。おいおい。場合じゃないってわからない？まだ何も終わってない。わかったから危ねえ真似すんな。なんだ。殺し合いで
Whoa.
しねんですか？
Oh!
She turned into a bunch of rats.
Whoa! Oh my god, the animation! Oh! Oh my god, that was inspired!
Yeah, that's how I feel.
そんな状況の見えねえ読めねえ愚かなてめえらが愛おしいですけど、私今日はこれで
Take my leave for today.
は？だからもうやらねえんですって。何より福音書がそう指示した。理事なんて言われると私が本の言い乗りみてえで気に食わねえんですけど。
They all have different feelings about it.
Feelings are real. Confusing hope with delusion is something idiots do. Oh my god. Jesus.
More dead bodies mean more demi beasts. The choice of rats is too perfect.
Oh, Fearless. Oh!
You really feel like you can sit down once he shows up.
It reminds me of his first entrance. I can't breathe. We're going everywhere.
We can't sit down.
Oh. Aren't
It's
innate
stolen.
talent.
Stolen. Stolen memories, thoughts, abilities, knowledge.
Oh. God damn it. This is terrifying. That's so fucked up.
Don't lose your cool. How triggering it is for people when you're taking the memories like that.
Come on, Auto. Getting all the information out.
The fact that he noticed he wasn't doing any killing strikes.
Yep.
Perfect. This is the best outcome. There will be no mishaps. Really? Again?
Oh!
What did he...
Oh! Oh my god, Auto!
Like what, torture? No! Absolutely not.
Oh my god!
I'm gonna cry. The head of the table is here.
Rem. If it can't be Subaru, it needs to be Betty.
Oh my god. God, thank goodness Subaru's not here though.
Oh, I love you, Betty.
The best friends of Subaru, right there.
I want to cry.
I know, right?
Okay, that was Rezero Season 3, Episode 15. I loved the ending of the episode. There's no two other people that I would rather be fighting Gluttony right now.
Does the ending of the episode make you feel better after what transpired, during the rest of the episode? Does it kind of... Do we forgive what happened in this episode because we got Betty and Otto together like this?
No, because there's something that came after it, and the fucking bow and the interpretation and like the whole rem of it, right? Like initially ending episode, Otto's finger could be bitten off. I'm in shambles. I don't know what to do.
There that they end the episode off with that kind of crunch of the finger. The title card for what the episode is on the screen.
Then you inject hope and love into my stomach with a syringe by letting Betty talk over a title card. Yeah. And I see her arise, which was fantastic and phenomenal. Her recognizing in Gluttony why we can never let Subaru see this, because it will do damage that cannot be fixed.
For example, Dinas, which is one of the guys that's fighting with them, we see kind of what it is. Julius, too, within this episode, we see what it's like to be someone that is fighting Gluttony, that is emotionally unstable because of what is triggering them. Whether it's someone saying things to them that they don't recognize as their own memories because they forgot, and so it's just fueling more of this anger because they can't remember anything and they don't believe they know these people, but there's probably still something that's even nauseating and conflicting and frustrating within this whole experience, especially if you know what Gluttony's abilities are. And so we're seeing two characters within this episode react in what I would assume would be Subaru, but worse. And what happens when you act with such emotion like that is that you are more open to getting attacked. Your defenses are down because you're so filled to the brim with a strong emotion like rage.
I don't think sadness. I've ever watched an episode of anything that made me feel the symptoms of when I'm going through like a bipolar episode, like on screen.
By how quickly things were switching or what?
Like all the back and forths of like happiness to despair to anxiety to happiness to hope.
You were manic. Like this episode was manic.
Like oh my god. Like at the end of the episode, after Betty arrives and acknowledges that Subaru could never see this and we can never let Subaru see this, I am on the verge of tears in the best way possible. But then I don't know. It's just so, it was so back and forth and it was so good and there was so much that happened and I just love Betty being back and involved and I'm so sad. Like the worst thing to happen this episode, and to me personally on an emotional level, was everybody not knowing Otto's name, and I don't know how I'm ever going to recover.
Him too. That was the worst part of this whole thing.
I know.
Which it was a really great comedic moment that felt really in universe and really real for the character to have a moment like this, especially because he was the one that Roswell didn't even account for. He was a nobody. He's just Subaru's best friend.
At least his acting was good enough that nobody could tell he was upset by it.
The end of this episode really was something that felt really exhilarating on a positive note. Obviously not positive because, like, you know, Rem and Subaru and, yeah, being worried about him, but positive on the note of, like, how good it feels to see the relationships that Subaru has cultivated and how ready they are to protect him and to not only protect everyone here and themselves and their own lives, but they're even spending time being worried about one of their, like, best friends here, being like, gotta make sure he doesn't run into gluttony.
Is one of the best things about ReZero is the complexities and relationships that build off and come with Return by Death. It has consistently been one of my favorite things with this entire series, and I love the emotional aspect of it and being able to talk about it. You know, when you have a lot of relationships in your life or friendships that end prematurely or end when they're supposed to, but in another world, in a perfect world, in a world that I could go back and maybe be a little bit more mature at times or handle things a little bit differently, maybe those people would still be in my life in a significant way. Maybe they would be here for me and I could still be there for them. And in another life, Otto isn't here. In another life, we know that Betty and everybody else aren't at the side of Subaru in the way and manner that they are now. And throughout all the iterations of Subaru's Return by Death, he's been able to build and cultivate these things. It's not just about him saving Rem. It's not just about him saving Amelia. There's so much else that came along with it, and it's beautiful to be able to watch and then be able to see the fruits of that labor in front of us here with Otto
that's
and
really
Betty.
what this is like a reward for all those times he had to, like, reestablish some form of, like, connection with these two characters.
They don't know all the fucking shit Subaru's had to see. So for them to come out and be like, we're never going to have to make Subaru have to see this is so great.
It really got me with the shot, like, once Betty says that, the next shot you see is Otto wiping his face off. Like, that determination, and then we wide pan to what's on the screen right now. I know we're talking, obviously, a lot about the ending, because it's
freshest in our minds.
Freshest in our minds, what we just saw. Two, probably one of the only positive things that happened in this episode. So maybe we go positive. I mean, don't people normally want the bad news first before they get the good news?
I don't know.
We kind of
it's
screwed
subjective.
it up there a little bit.
Man, I love it. I love what you said about even Otto wiping off his face. And it's not that he didn't realize that before, think that before, because, like, I get it. He's in the heat of the battle and he's just putting things together and figuring out what Lai and Roy's abilities are and how they work. But I would never suggest that Otto wouldn't be thinking about Subaru and trying to be helpful in this moment, and just Betty voicing it in the way that she does just reaffirms all of Otto's confidence that this needs to be done by them here and now.
Yeah, and thank goodness she's back in the story, because I'm tired of every single intro at the very end of it being like, and Betty! Because Subaru is jumping with Betty, and I'm like, okay, come on, bring one of my favorite characters back in. I want to see her be awesome and cute.
Yeah.
And like she said, she's ready to be carried by Subaru when this is all over, so I hope she gets that.
So other things did happen in the episode.
Yeah, definitely.
When the fuck was Joshua eaten?
I know, right?
When the fuck did it happen?
When did it happen?
Episode 1. So we watched episode 1, and then my life went to shit, for lack of a better way to put it. But when we came back and we rewatched episode 1 in our own time, and I'm like, oh fuck, Joshua, dude, like, at least you're out of here, you know, like you're safe.
I don't know why I didn't even consider, like, where, like, in my mind he was he was like not in my mind and or in one of the shelters, you know what I mean? Like, I also, like, how him? Why him? Is it just, like, good writing because you know Julius is gonna be an opponent to one of Gluttony? Is that why? Or is it that we targeted where we thought that people were staying at?
So I don't remember the exact circumstances of what Otto was doing like for Anastasia.
Mm-hmm.
But I remember when Gluttony shows up in front of Otto for the first time, it's at the gate, right?
Yeah.
So he could be returning from just that, you know?
Oh my god. Okay, so it didn't hit me right away, obviously, because I think this was supposed to be like a slow burn reveal for like viewers to realize at their own pace and time without being explicitly said, which I will say, thank goodness for this, even though it's upsetting, because it is an amazing way to show the viewer exactly what Gluttony's power is.
And how,
because Rem is not a good example of that. It's an emotional example, but it's not like the perfect ideal example where the viewer doesn't even know what he's talking about until it's like the 5th time he said something that triggers it, and therefore then we see what is Joshua in bed and Julius in a tree, and then we realize why he was saying brother this whole time and why he was talking like he knew Julius and knew all these things about him.
To be completely honest, for a second I was like, were they triplets? Like, I know that they weren't twins, but like or at least I think I know that, but like I was like, oh, is there another brother that we lost at some point? I didn't consider that Joshua was the one that was being talked about for the first like 30 seconds. I want to be like, I was like, is there somebody else? And I was like, oh wait, holy shit, they wouldn't have introduced Joshua in the way that they did at the beginning of this season unless this was Joshua.
It's because we never pieced together until this episode that Gluttony not only removes people's memories and by their names and basically takes them and steals their lives and people's knowledge of them, but they also can hold the memories, the knowledge all within themselves, which is not something that we had previously really gotten a hold of in terms of information. And so I started that, encounter with Julius and him saying brother and talking like he knew all of Julius's abilities, he was a great knight, all of this stuff. My mind was trying to understand some sort of past event where Julius met Roy and Lai as children, like even younger, when they were like toddlers or like 5, and he had an encounter with them where they were like, that's a brave knight, you know what I mean? Like, that's what I was picturing, was like he had met them in the past and he was gonna be, that's why they called him brother, like, oh, this was an older boy that we look up to and think is really awesome. I was like, okay, well, all of the Sin Archbishops have their own feelings and desires and reasons why they became Sin Archbishops. So like, it could be understandable that they could have some positive feelings toward a knight. You know what I mean? Like, I was like, that's where I was at first because it was perfect. Because it was written perfectly. That's where I was.
Yeah. I mean, I kind of wish that Subaru was here, because I think that like an interaction would be really cool of like what the fuck are you talking about, Gluttony? And then Subaru being like, you have a brother, like, cause Subaru would know and remember, and I think, right, because of Return by Death, and obviously he remembers Rem, so he would remember, and like Subaru having to like tell Julius that would kind of be insane, like an insane interaction.
You know who I would also think would know? Just a wild. I think Al would know.
I don't know.
I think Al knows, bro, so much.
Okay, before we get to Al, I
know. It's just it was an easy thing for me to say right from what you said.
Yeah, during the so I was trying to figure out Gluttony's abilities during the episode as well, though, like, and to what degree, because at a certain point in the fight with Julius and Ricardo, I was like, oh, okay, so maybe it's like he doesn't need to erase their memories yet. Like when he brought up the water dragons with magic, obviously now after the fact that was somebody else, but during it I'm like, oh my god, could he like, is he using inspiration from what Otto used against his brother, like or other half, like in this fight because of the water dragons? That's not what happened, but I was trying to piece it together as it was going too.
Well, here's a question: do they share? Do Roy and Lai share in terms of abilities, or is it who they particularly ate?
Since it's one sin, I would imagine that they share.
I would too, but I also would think it would be cool if they had like different counts. Like the Gluttony that's fighting Julius, I think it's Roy. He says that he's killed, like, with Eclipse, which was his one move, he's killed 88 pretty boys like you. So it did make me wonder, like, is that something they share, or is one using different attacks because they've eaten different people than the other?
Well, I hope that upon defeating Gluttony, we get Joshua back okay, as well as Rem and everyone else, right?
Right.
But one thing that I like kind of like took me a second, like I like kind of jolted back in my seat, it felt like, was when Julius proclaimed his own name to Gluttony. I was like, what? Why?
You're
what?
It's like a power move.
Yeah.
Like establishing some sort of power. Ricardo wasn't doing so hot in that fight.
Yeah.
I don't really... I know we'll get to it, but it's like, I have faith in them, yes, but like Gluttony is also like, with this new information of what Gluttony basically has in their arsenal, my like faith for some of our characters has like gone down a little bit, at least. Okay, so Julius and Ricardo mainly over here, I'm like, eh. But now that Betty has showed up with Otto, I'm like feeling a little better over here.
Yeah.
Julius and Ricardo, though, I'm like, this is an opponent that's like has this wild amount of experience, knowledge
specifically regarding Julie, like that specifically
can mess with his head. It's the same situation of don't let Subaru come in front of Lai. You know what I mean? Like, except Julius doesn't know why he's feeling so emotional. If you defeat one, do you defeat
the other? You know? I don't know.
Yeah.
We also don't know who Felt's gonna go to first. There, like, obvious answer I'd come to is Felt goes back to Otto and Betty, but what if Felt stumbles across Julius first?
See, obvious answer would be Felt's like trajectory, like that Felt would deem to do.
Yeah.
But that doesn't mean something's not gonna walk in front of Felt and interrupt.
That's
you know
true.
What I mean? So I would say my last thing about like us learning how Gluttony works in this episode, it's probably not anything, and it could just be a throwaway statement of Otto trying to understand Gluttony. But when Otto, his one line of trying to understand how Gluttony came to be Gluttony is, are those scars what made you like this?
Yeah.
But as soon as like, you know, the bomb goes off and Gluttony now lost his best shirt.
His interaction with Otto's fingers is something that somebody who had been tortured would use to torture other people. You know what I mean? Like in Gluttony's past, in Gluttony's past, were they tortured in a horrific way that led to them getting that scars, or what are the circumstances that they were in?
Right.
I think that's a great question.
Is it just a character trying to make some sort of like human sense of like, okay, let me get some like empathetic feelings here, let me get some understanding happening here where I can see how you got from point A to point B of this crazy villain in front of me, like let me try to understand who you were before. And it's really great to have even just like a minor glimpse of a character trying to do that, because I like to do that as a viewer. We've already said like how much we would like to get flashbacks, backstories for the Sin Archbishops because of what we've gotten with Betelgeuse.
Yeah.
So I was really happy that Otto was asking that question. I don't think it will inevitably end up necessarily being something like, oh, the scars will exactly tell us what his past was and how he ended up being the way that he is.
But
I can be thankful that the question was posed.
Yeah, if we did get it, if there existed an entire like just prequel series of every single sin, I would die for it.
I don't think we can fit all of the backstories and stuff within what's left of this season.
Yeah,
so.
That's fair. Okay. Okay. All right.
Okay.
All right. Al. Mr. Al. So, there's been a lot of speculation up to this point. Fuck speculating at this point, because, like, okay.
He's suspicious as fuck.
So, for sure, he has an ability that is somewhat akin to Subaru, or is a variety of it. I don't know. There's something going on with Al for sure. I can't say with such certainty if he's come from another world, but him identifying Fellas as a femboy was one of the best moments in this entire series.
It was such a Subaru thing to think or say.
Exactly.
Too.
And like, I'm like, God damn it, where are you from, Al? Let's read off the lines though that
okay, because I had a few lines of his written down for
it's
this
like
kind of
putting
purpose.
the nail in the coffin of like every type of like ooh, these words are weird because it's so like
it's so
clear.
Mm-hmm.
Hang on, you're seriously going to die. dying hurts, and it's scary, you know, especially the first time. You don't want to do that. You should really save your firsts for when the time is right.
And then she goes on and says, yeah.
What the fuck?
You really do care about me. You made it dirty.
So where are you sitting with it? Is it 1 for 1 for Subaru? Is it a different, like, iteration of it? Is it, where are you at?
So I remember, like, a few episodes ago when we were first starting to talk about how similar they kind of were in terms of the style of joke, the way that they were handling Capella versus Regulus, that there were some similarities. Obviously, we know that Al knows so much of what's going on here. Like, so much that he was even able to enact his own plan to thwart the plans that were going on here. Like, how did he even know any of this? And he has another line as he's escaping Capella, or as he's trapping Capella, that's about how he can't love anyone. And I feel like my brain just wants to be like, this is Subaru, like, older, but he's not trying to interfere with his younger self, or, like, the true timeline self, you know what I mean? Like, he wants him to have the pristine, like, has the girl, has the future, and he's just there to make sure it happens. You know what I mean? Like, that's what it gives a little bit. Not that I actually, like, fully, wholeheartedly, like, believe that to be true, but I do think it could, if that ended up being true, I would say there was evidence that made sense to lead you there.
I think it's fun to theorize about. I am with you on the theory there of, like, ooh, what if? I don't think it's the case. If I had to, I don't know. We got the line of him saying, like, he doesn't want anybody talking about his face later. And, like, I feel like that is such, like, a uniquely, I don't know, it gives personality, right? And it doesn't give necessarily, ooh, they can't see my face because I'm somebody they know. It gives me, it goes in line with the I can't love anyone. And, like, I'm like, Al, show me your face, but show me your soul.
Love someone.
Tell me how you got here. Yeah. Tell me what you want in life. Tell me all of your feelings, emotions. Yeah, it is 90%, 95% sure that he has an ability that he can experience death in some capacity and then continue on living. And I 95% sure that's the case now.
Honestly, he could just have his information in the same way that the Sin Archbishops have their information. Like, somehow he's able to read Gospels. He's seen a Gospel and memorized it. He has spoken to someone who knows what's written in the Gospel. You know, he could have this information. I don't think he'd talk about death
the way that he does to Capella if that was the case, though.
Well, there was one other thing that he does in this episode that I feel like is of note.
Yeah.
And that is, you are not Anastasia. You did something that she can't do. What's your motive here? What is happening there? What?
I'm not sure, because, like, it was diffused by Felix, right? And
it was just because Felix entered the scene, basically, and diffused it. Not because there was, like, it wasn't actually, like, you know, there was a reaction to it, like he was right. At least on Anastasia's
end. Also, the lines, I think I secretly got crushed about 3 times, though. You know what that gives me? Like, that gives me, you are being meta. You did get crushed 3 times, and you're being hyperbolic because they'll think of it as a joke and just a cute quip. But no, she probably did get crushed 3 times before being successful with this.
Theory-wise, goes back and sees how many times Subaru has died by crushing.
How's the cat-eared femboy? Thanks for your concern. I'm fine. And Lust, she's definitely buried under all that, but it's a waste of time to hope she died under there, huh? Blew her face right off with magic, and she was just fine.
Al doesn't know about this. He's hearing about the magic.
Yeah.
Felix diffuses it because, like, this is no time to turn on each other.
I think that it could be a little bit more complex, and Anastasia could have cards held close to her that not every political party knows.
As a character, it would make sense for her to have her own secrets, or to have things that she keeps closer and only pulls out
when she's given so much responsibility here and so much on her back that she's willing to utilize everything at her disposal. And because of that, it could elicit doubt in a very real situation that somebody in front of us can literally shapeshift into whatever the fuck they want and whatever the rat they want. And it would give Al pause for concern here and be like, so are you doing something that you didn't tell anybody you could do before, or are you actually not you? Like, it could be a mix of different things.
It's enough for him to draw his sword.
Yeah.
His like, is that because he's immediately negatively suspicious of her? Like, you would have to maybe be my enemy if you were going to keep something like that secret? Or is he, like, thinking about how Capella can shapeshift? Yeah, I wonder if it's just purely we're using gluttony as the fact that they can do magic, they can do swordsmanship, and then you learn that Anastasia can do magic too, and it's just more of a surprise element that is like thematic and like the repetition within this episode of that theme of finding out that someone can do something else.
The more that we talk about it, the more I could imagine it and seeing it being we're different political parties and like what's this, you know? But my last thing that I have to talk about was just some animation.
Okay. I have 2 more things.
Cool. With Capella's transformation, specifically the eyes. It is so good. It's inspired. It's beautiful. It's brilliant.
I feel like that's definitely not the first time that we've rewatched a Capella animation, a grotesque Capella animation, and been like, this is inspired. Honestly, it is inspired. I feel bad in some ways to the person who designed this and maybe even animated it, because I don't know if they had to watch things to get reference from. I hope not.
There was nothing you could watch to get reference from.
Well, just even like gross anatomy stuff, like underneath the skin. Bleh. Gross. So yeah, that was inspired, and that was beautifully grotesque.
Your 2 things?
My 2 things. So I'm gonna go with this first. So we get established for sure here in this episode that everyone has different feelings about the gospel. That was one of our guesses, is that the Sin Archbishops all have their own feelings. And I feel like this leads me into my final thing that I wanted to talk about, which is Capella really gone? Because she's like, I'm leaving.
I believe she's gone.
Like, is she leaving? Like, is she like, I did what I wanted and I can leave? Because Anastasia then says, like, is that what the gospel, says? Yeah. Which triggers her more, because she's like, you think my feelings are just because the gospel, like, tells me to do something?
So here we are in a potential situation that we could leave this season with Rem back. That doesn't mean that we're going to be able to leave this season with Krush back. You know what I mean? And if she leaves successfully, we need to find her inevitably in the future to hopefully figure out a way to heal or save Krush. It's not by defeating her. We're given that clear as day, seemingly. So I think she's gone.
I would say as the story continues, it's not like we're gonna defeat all of the Sin Archbishops and should have maybe even expected defeating all of them here and getting everyone back. It reminds me similarly to what Echidna tries to use in order to convince Subaru to make a contract with her, like, you're going to lose people along the way, and it's what he signs up for, is to hopefully do his best to not leave anyone behind. But I think we're just seeing the reality, especially of this battlefield with everyone in different places, is that yes, we might gain Rem back, but that doesn't mean that this was a war. We have all of those beasts that were corpses of people, all of the people that have died here. It's not like everyone's going to be returned to normal and be alive again. Yeah. There's going to continuously be losses and gains as we continue to try to defeat all of the Sin Archbishops. And so, yeah, I think that she's gone as well.
We'll see.
We'll see, though.
You good? Thank you guys so much for watching this video. Please like, comment, and subscribe. We hope to see you next time.